The FDA currently recognizes 5 substances as being both addictive and legal. These are substances you know well. We have caffeine, nicotine, alcohol, medication, including aspirin and prescription drugs, and sugar. According to the current Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, addiction is when an individual persists in the use of a substance despite problems related to its use, often characterized by impairment in behavioral control, craving, inability to consistently abstain, and a diminished recognition of significant problems in behavior and relationships. As I read that definition, and as a professional in the social media world, I recognize that they're talking about us. We are in fact selling the 6th legal addiction. The psychologists are currently researching a type of field called behavioral addictions, which includes things like compulsive shopping, problem gambling, overeating, and watching YouTube videos. And they look at this as something that actually stimulates the pleasure sensor of your brain, effectively creating those endorphins and those alpha waves, just as though you were taking heroin, cocaine, or engaging in sexual activity. In the 1960s, a renowned behavioral scientist named B.F. Skinner put a name on this. He realized it's a type of addictive behavior called intermittent variable reward, IVR, and he contrived some experiments. He put rats in a cage, as he was prone to do, and gave them a button that they could push. And every time they pushed that button, they got a pellet of food. Well, the rats pushed the button for a little while, and then they gradually got into a pattern of only pushing the button when they were hungry. So he applied the science of intermittent variable reward to it, so that when the rat pushed the button, sometimes they got 3 pellets, and sometimes they got none. Well, the rats pushed the button at the expense of all other behaviors. In fact, these creatures literally pushed the button until they died, neither eating, sleeping, or any of the other things that rats do. This behavior is occurring right now all over the world. Literally millions of people are hitting the refresh button on their email, their Twitter, their Facebook accounts to see if they've been tagged or mentioned or friended or unfriended or invited to an event, or in this case to see the 80 million results for lolcats that come up on Google. The frightening thing about this, as the author Lauren Cook points out in her book, Don't Shoot the Dogs, as a professional animal trainer, she says it's actually the random rewards that are more motivating to us than the expected ones. When they're training dolphins, if they give them a treat every 5th jump, the dolphins perform lackadaisically on jumps 1 through 4. But if they randomly reward the dolphin's behavior, they'll put everything they have into every single jump, jumping vigorously throughout the performance. You see, it's actually the same behavioral mechanics at work in a casino when you're pulling the slot machine handle. If you know you're going to win, you don't play. If you know every time you put $1 in that slot machine and pull the handle, you'll get $1 back, it becomes an ATM machine, which creates 0 addiction. So let's see how far we've sunk. A national survey recently asked social media users what they would rather give up than their cell phone, or by extension, their connection to their social media networks. And these people answered, 55% of them saying caffeine, another legally addictive substance. Give me a second. 63% said they'd rather give up chocolate than their social media. 20% said shoes, and fully 1/3 said they'd forego sex in order to increase their relationships with their online friends. So how do you know when enough is too much? Basically, if you've ever denied that your use of social media is a problem, you might have a problem. If you're spending your weekends at conferences like this listening to people describe social media as an addiction, you might have a problem. If you've ever used Twitter to communicate with someone in the same room, you might have a problem. And if you've ever tweeted from the bathroom, like while you're using the bathroom, this indicates a problem. So why is this bad? Essentially, like any addiction, it's a behavior taken to an extreme, and it comes at the expense of other healthier behaviors and a life balance. Also, it's killing our productivity in the workplace and in your personal relationships. So I invite you to join, and I'm talking to myself in this too, to disconnect. When you have a project in front of you, turn off your cell phone, close your TweetDeck, shut down the window in the background so you're not being constantly disrupted by this addictive substance that feeds into your subconscious. And I offer you in closing my short list of the most addictive websites. If you think you suffer from this problem, don't visit these sites. Thank you.